I'm a professor of process and energy systems engineering at the Delft University of Technology. The main thing I've been doing in the past 10 years is leading a new knowledge initiative, which is known as Next Generation Infrastructures in the Netherlands and abroad, which was a knowledge program that we ran with support from the Dutch government, and which involved Delft University but many other universities in the Netherlands, in Europe, and in the wider world, and in which many infrastructure providers cooperated with us. And the other concept that we introduced in our research is the thinking about infrastructures as socio-technical systems. Most people think, when they hear about infrastructures, they think about cables, pipelines, very big production plants. They think about hardware, they think about technical artifacts. But infrastructure is a lot more than that. Infrastructure is a system designed to deliver a service. Well, I think awareness is a very important thing. So engage somehow the end users in the decision-making process, in the planning process about new infrastructure. Make them aware of the value that infrastructure has for them, economically, but also socially. Infrastructure touches every aspect of our daily life. It is the way in which we get or do not get electricity or water or sanitation or waste removal or telecommunications has completely changed our social norms and practices. Our current ideas about personal hygiene, about cleanliness in our homes, about social interaction, about mobility have changed because of infrastructure provision, because of infrastructure services available to us. So it's a very rude way to make people aware of that by interrupting the service, of course, so I would not advocate that. But it's important that people are aware of it and that they care, and that they also feel a sense of responsibility. Infrastructure, people should know, stands for a lot more than just economic development potential. It is also social development potential. If you do not have electricity, if you do not have water, if you do not have access to a road that is accessible in all seasons, then the basic household things will take you hours that you cannot spend productively, that you cannot spend on education, that you cannot, develop your household economically. I think for the future and for the imminent problems that Peru is facing when it comes to, I think, building new infrastructure, and that we are facing because we are dealing with a lot of aging infrastructure that also needs to be replaced and expanded and innovated. Public capital is scarce. At the same time, we are, in this time, the long-term interest rate for capital loans has never been as low as it is today. There is lots of private capital, but how do we engage private capital in infrastructure projects? This is a big challenge. And to do that, we need to come up with solid long-term investment planning. We need to come up with transparent national infrastructure plans. We need to come up with transparent planning processes. We need to come up with infrastructure project pipelines in which we see all the potential cross-sector synergies so that we can use them, so that it becomes attractive for investors to invest in that. But it is all about creating a long-term vision, about reducing complexity, in the planning process about reducing political and regulatory uncertainty. Without that, we are never going to succeed in engaging private capital and institutional investors. I think a private investor tends to think about infrastructure as a project, an investment project, you know. That will be subject to a cost-benefit analysis, and that will decide whether or not it's an attractive project to invest in, given that it is not prone to what I said, intransparency in planning or political and policy and regulatory uncertainty.